The Kansas City Chiefs have some big news. So we're going to be going through that in 3 other stories in today's video. So if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. So the first story we're going to be talking about is none other than the Super Bowl that just took place and a bit of the recap of what we just witnessed. Now the highly anticipated clash featured MVP caliber quarterbacks Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. But it was the Eagles who dominated, securing a decisive win, 40-2022 victory, and on top of that, fans packed the stadium with Hollywood stars such as Jon Hamm and Bradley Cooper, adding to the spectacle as excitement reached a fever pitch before kickoff. The halftime show was also something to watch, as you may all know, but the Eagles' Super Bowl victory was a moment of redemption, erasing the disappointment of their 2023 loss and cementing their place among NFL's elite. Hurts delivered a historic performance whilst the defense shut down Mahomes in a game that will be remembered for years. For the Chiefs, the loss ended their three-peat hopes, but with a talented roster and a star quarterback, their Super Bowl aspirations remain alive. Ultimately, this classic showdown ended with the Eagles claiming a dominant and unforgettable championship win. But it wasn't just Hurts who made the impact for the Eagles. The defense, led by veterans like Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, wreaked havoc on Mahomes all night, and Mahomes definitely did struggle quite a bit. The secondary, led by Darius Slay and rookie sensation Cooper DeJean, was tight and disciplined, limiting the Chiefs' explosive plays down the field. The defensive line kept the pressure coming, and the Eagles' ability to control both sides of the ball made them an unstoppable force on the biggest stage. While the Eagles had been building a lead throughout the game, it was a moment in the third quarter that really put the game out of reach for Kansas City. And from there, the Chiefs never recovered. Although Mahomes fought valiantly, throwing out a touchdown pass to Worthy, it was a little too late. The Eagles answered back with a field goal to make it 40-22, and at that point, it was too late. The Super Bowl was effectively sealed. As the final whistle blew, the Eagles erupted in celebration, having claimed their second Super Bowl title in franchise history, and their performance was a completed effort, with Hurts leading the charge, offensively and defense suffocating Mahomes' every move. The Chiefs, on the other hand, were left to reflect on what went wrong. Travis Kelce, a cornerstone of the Chiefs' success over the past several seasons, was visibly frustrated after the game. The usually upbeat tight end appeared somber as he left the field, reflecting on the loss that stung so deeply. It was clear that the Chiefs' hope of a three-peat have been dashed by an Eagles team that came prepared and executed their game plan flawlessly. Despite the loss, there were still bright spots for the Chiefs to build on. Rookie wide receiver Xavier Worthy showcases immense talent and potential for the future, and the Chiefs are also in their 7th consecutive AFC Championship game, proving that they are still a force to be reckoned with within the league. However, the offseason will undoubtedly bring some tough decisions and the need to make adjustments if they hope to reclaim the throne next season. The Eagles' Super Bowl victory was a moment of redemption, erasing the disappointment of their 2023 loss and cementing their place among the NFL's elite. Hurts delivered a historic performance while the defense shut down Mahomes in a game that will be remembered for years. For the Chiefs, the loss ended their three-peat hopes, but with a talented roster and star quarterback, their Super Bowl aspirations remain alive. Ultimately, this classic showdown ended with the Eagles claiming a dominant and unforgettable championship win. Now, getting into the second story, offensive line options are also on the free agency when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs, and there are also other big decisions that the Chiefs have to face in this 2025 offseason. Now, starting off with the offensive line options after Trey Smith's free agency departure. So Trey Smith has been a key factor in the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line dominance over the last 4 years, and the 6th-round gem immediately slotted in as the team's starting right guard as a rookie and went on to start 79 of 80 games since, becoming one of Chiefs' most consistent players across 3 consecutive Super Bowl runs. While the trio of Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, and Smith have long been a force together, the group appears to be trending towards a split, with Smith on the verge of signing a massive contract during his foray into free agency. Spotrac estimates Smith will make around $20 million per year on his next deal, considering he's a top interior offensive lineman and number 2 overall player on Bleacher Report's free agent big board. It wouldn't be a shock if he breaks Landon Dickerson's record of $21 million annually and becomes the NFL's highest paid guard. That type of deal will be close to impossible for the cash-strapped Chiefs to match, with the teams like the Chicago Bears and Minnesota Vikings already being linked to Smith. It seems there will be no shortage of suitors putting in strong offers for his services. Kansas City should have a contingency plan in place for this inevitable departure. The team may opt to promote current in-house options such as Mike Calindo and also Hunter Norzad, who into a more prominent role could be very effective. The plan could also involve signing a more cost-conscious veteran such as Kevin Zeitler, who is coming off an impressive age 34 season with the Detroit Lions and is set to hit the open market for the second year straight. Now, on top of this, regardless, the Chiefs should be more focused on spending big at left tackle after their offensive line was exposed in the Super Bowl. Finding a way to be a bit frugal with Smith's replacement will free up some dollars to improve the book and protection. Now, on top of this, they also need to stabilize the wide receiver room for the Chiefs next season. The Chiefs have managed to thrive despite a lack of stability within their receiving corps. Since the departure of Tyreek Hill following the 2021 season, 3 different wideouts have led the position in receiving yardage, with Travis Kelce the team's top producing pass catcher in each of the past 3 seasons, coming off his worst statistical campaign since becoming a starter in his second year. The Chiefs can't continue playing around the aging tight end, who generally at bulk of the passing offense, with Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice are Kansas City's only notable wideouts currently under contract for the 2025 season. Worthy had an impressive rookie campaign and will continue to be a big part of the team's plans going forward. Rice had an excellent rookie season in 2023, but injuries and legal troubles have his status for next season up in the air. The 2 veterans that the Chiefs brought in for 2024 were a mixed bag. Marquise Brown has been a fantastic fit when healthy, but he was only available for 2 regular season games in the team's Super Bowl run. It remains to be seen if the team can bring him back on another prove-it type deal for next season, or if another club will make an offer that effectively prices Kansas City out. DeAndre Hopkins has also generally been a boon since making his Chiefs debut in Week 7. Trading for the 5-time Pro Bowler provided Mahomes with the outside receiver the team has been lacking. But Hopkins put a relatively modest 41 catch, 437 yard, 4 touchdown stat line during his 10 regular season games in Kansas City and was even quieter during the playoffs. With a market value of over $15 million, Hopkins may be tough to fit onto the books unless he's willing to give his incumbent team a deal in exchange for a chance to continue competing for championships after coming up short of winning his first Super Bowl ring. The Chiefs should try to keep at least one of their 2 proven pass catchers this offseason, but it remains to be seen that if it will be enough to stabilize what has been a revolving door of receivers filtering in and out of the Kansas City Chiefs in the most recent years. Now, getting to the third story, the Kansas City Chiefs definitely had a tough Super Bowl as Patrick Mahomes faces pressure, but also Xavier Worthy has now become a look forward to type player. Now, there's no denying that Patrick Mahomes is one of the most dynamic and skilled quarterbacks of the NFL has ever seen. However, the Chiefs' Super Bowl aspirations rested on his shoulders and he had delivered in the past. However, in the Super Bowl, the usually composed Mahomes faced relentless pressure from the Philadelphia Eagles defense, and this ultimately derailed the Chiefs' offense. From the moment the game started, it was evident that Mahomes would have a tough time. The Eagles' defensive line, led by likes of Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and Hassan Reddick, wreaked havoc on the Chiefs' offensive line. The Eagles knew that if they could rattle Mahomes, they would have a shot at neutralizing one of the most dangerous offenses in the league. By the end of the game, Mahomes has been sacked a total of 6 times, an incredible feat for any defense, let alone going up against a quarterback of Mahomes' caliber. The constant pressure forced Mahomes to rush several of his throws, leading to mistakes that aren't typically part of his game. The most glaring thing about this was pick 6 thrown in the third quarter, which was a crushing blow to the Chiefs' hopes. As the Eagles dialed up the pressure, Mahomes found himself under duress almost every time he dropped back to pass. His ability to escape the pocket and make throws on the move, something he is known for, was severely limited. His feet were not steady as usual, and the Chiefs' offensive line struggled to create the protection Mahomes needed to make his usual dazzling plays. Mahomes finished with 267 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, but his night was defined by 6 sacks and an interception as the Eagles' defense kept him under constant pressure. With the little time in the pocket, he struggled to find his rhythm, and the Chiefs' offense near fully clicked. The Travis Kelce, usually a dominant force, was also held to just 4 catches for 39 yards, as Eagles defenders Darius Slay and Avonte Maddox blanketed him throughout the game. By neutralizing Kelce, and the Eagles dismantled Kansas City offensive game plan, securing a commanding victory. Now, on top of this, while Kelce's performance in Super Bowl may not be a shining one, it wasn't from a lack of effort or trying. The Eagles' defense came prepared and executed their game with plan and precision. The lack of offensive production outside of Worthy's breakout performance meant that the Chiefs were often forced to play catch-up. With the Eagles taking control of the game early, the Chiefs never had a chance to play their typical up-tempo style, and the lack of balance on offense was evident as the game wore on. It became clear that the Eagles were in it to complete control, and Mahomes and his offense had no answers to the constant pressure.